College basketball crown and NIT picks, plus the latest coaching hires and college basketball crown recap on the college basketball experience of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can sign up today at Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCESGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost to get up to $750 in cash back rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN. And welcome back into the newest episode of the College Basketball Experience. My name is Noah Bieniek, and I'm joined alongside Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac, former staffer for Bob Huggins at West Virginia and Frank Martin at South Carolina. Mac, first day ever in the history of the College Basketball Crown Tournament. And we also have NIT games to talk about later on in the show. How you doing, my friend?
All right. I'm trying to figure out how I lost to Utah. That they took my money for that one. But I won Boise, but then they voided that one.
Yeah.
That's not weird, how it works. If you're going to void it, you got to void them all. You can't pick and choose which ones you void. So a lot of corruption out here today. Interesting day, I guess I'll say the least. I kind of was stunned that this actually happened and scratching my head all day.
You're stunned. I'm not. I'd been talking about how I was just not buying into this entire product. Not a fan of all of this. Just seems like a gigantic money grab to me. First off, I didn't bet the first game, so I didn't really realize what a lot of people were talking about with the Utah Butler, the overs and whatnot. And then I had Boise -7. Now we'll recap the specific games, but I won the bet and it got voided. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to Twitter and I'm finding out that this dumbass tournament didn't get themselves regulated. And Mac, they posted a graphic of betting odds, DraftKings Sportsbook. It literally is labeled there with the betting odds of the teams to win their tournament. And they didn't get their tournament regulated. So midday, in the middle of the Utah Butler game, to my understanding, again, I was not aware of this because I had placed futures Monday and Tuesday because Colby's ragging on me to bet this tournament to force me to get excited about this thing. And they strip all of the lines and all of the odds. And now it's a lose-lose situation for all of these things that I'm sitting on. Because if they lose, then I don't get my money back. But if they win, they just void it and I get what I put up. Mac.
I just like
how bad do you fuck something up like this?
Well, I also don't know. For example, I don't know how DraftKings. I messaged their support. They ain't going anywhere. And like, how are you going to grade Utah as a loss? But then when I win Boise, you void it. Like, how is a win a void, but a loss is like, no, I'm going to take your money. Like, dude, that's a scam. That's fucking bullshit. It's just like, dude, if you're going to void the bets, okay, if whatever. Then void all the bets. Don't take people's money when they lose, but when they win the bet, you go, here's your money back. You don't get the winnings. Only if you lose, it counts. Like that's, dude, that's the most ass backwards thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. So for those that aren't comprehending, which I forgive you, and the regulation, which is good. It's a good thing to have. That's what makes all of this legalized, online sports betting and in-person sports betting. getting it regulated means that it's fair play. And basically that these online sports books that voided these bets, whether they won or lost, like if it happened prior to the game, I know some books did it prior to it even happening. They deem that this tournament, they can't determine whether or not what is going on is fair because of probably the NIL prize at the end of it is my assumption. I have no idea. But with all the players missing from some of these rosters, that's probably my assumption. But to know that in Las Vegas, out there in person, there are sports books that we know well that are totally on board with this tournament and are, living up to their word and redeeming the plays and the bets and handing out money on winning tickets, to my knowledge at least, we're going to still pick the games. If
They're
you
available offshore too. It's just
yeah, that's what I was about to say. If you
go
don't
down
have
that,
a on-site book to go to, we do have a deal with my bookie that you guys can use. It is an offshore sports book. The promo code is SGPN, TCE SGPN if you want to support this direct show, and you would get a deposit bonus over there. So that's how you're able to get a sweat on them still if you're interested in that sort of thing. Mac, do you want to recap some of these games?
I guess it was hit or miss because there are people in the chat saying that they got their money for Butler. Good for you guys if you guys were able to win. I mean,
we're going to continue to pick the games.
Yeah, so. I'm down $100 and I went 1-1. How the fuck's that work? That's fucking bullshit. I put $100 each game, and I went 1-1, and I'm down 100 because the one that I won, well, nope, doesn't count. Didn't get it off in time, even though I placed a fucking wager last night.
And I don't understand how the sportsbook's able to do this. I mean, we all watch this game. It's on television. It's on Fox Sports 1. It's not like it's in a tennis match that's being played in Greece and it's not on television. I don't know what they think they're getting away with here. It's on FS1. We all watched the game. No crock of shit happened during it, So,
well, I see people in the chat saying, "Well, mine voided. Mine got kind of." My biggest complaint is, if you're gonna void them all.
Void them all.
You can't void the ones I win and take my loss. Like you can't. That's not. What is that? That's. I mean, come on.
I have futures on Cincinnati and Nebraska that if they win, they're going to get voided. But if they lose, then they're just going to take the money.
I hit the people up over there that I know, and I'm just like, you guys are kidding me, right? With this, like, this is really like what's fucking going on? Like, you guys are gonna take the loss but void the win? I said, wow. Okay, I'll okay. I guess I'll laugh this one off. I'm gonna blow you up on the show, but
they deserve it.
Okay. Shout out to DraftKings and and
DraftKings is the one that got me too. But there's plenty of screenshots going around on social media.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's fucking ridiculous. This is common sense, man. Just be fair. That's all. Dude, it's already hard enough to win. Just be fair. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. Before we talk about and just recap the 3 games that have happened to this point, we do want to tell you that we know we all just got scammed basically by sportsbooks, but why would you go and get scammed again by paying to get into some tout's Discord or sub for their picks? Join our Discord. It's completely free. Hang out with the SGPN community, break it all down. All the DGen action, all the DGens in the Discord. They're nearing 10,000 members over there on SGPN Discord. Go over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord to get involved and speak your mind about everything that just happened today. The college basketball experience is also brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether it's the college basketball crown at the MGM Garden Arena or when they go to the T-Mobile Arena later on this weekend, whether it's the Final Four in San Antonio, the Frozen Four in St. Louis. There's college baseball. There's MLB going on. Tickets are easier, and you get your best deal over at SeatGeek. It's the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. We love using SeatGeek. Colby swears by it. He went through the market looking for college baseball tickets, and SeatGeek delivered him the best price. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a 1 to 10 scale, so you know you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you know, Colby's talked about this previously on the show. He came through for you guys. You can use the code SGPN10 for 10% off your next set of tickets over at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code SGPN10. Make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, and then have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. 10% off any tickets with promo code SGPN10. Thank you, SeatGeek. And Sports Gambling Podcast Network is also partnered with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And you know your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. Plus, the best part is there are no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And SGPN is also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is the best place to bet every sport, including the college basketball crown, and you will get your money back on the tickets that you place. Plus, they have props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations, including right here in the United States of America, and it's easy to deposit and lightning-fast payouts using crypto. Head over to MyBookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN, for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code TCESGPN. And we're back here on the college basketball. Noah Bieniek joined alongside Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. And there were 3 college basketball games here today. Butler edged out Utah 86-84. Tough one for your man Josh Eilert, who is manning the bench for the Utes today. They led for about 35 minutes of this one from what I saw. And Butler kind of stole this one, took it late. My original thoughts on this was the research that I had done on transfer portal, because I know that Utah has a new coach coming in, Alex Hansen, and they had 7 players in the transfer portal. I thought 2 of them weren't going to play, specifically that start and Lawson Lovering and Jake Valine. Both of them were in the lineup, and actually Jameel Telfort of Butler missed this game. So the day didn't start off well for me. I'm just like, what the fuck am I even trying to do here? I spend all this time looking into the portal, and then you can put your name into the portal and you can still play in this tournament here after the season's already over. I picked it right, though. Butler -1.5, I believe, was the line last night. I didn't bet this game, though. Mac, you, my friend, were on the losing end of a hook, 1, right? And 2,
didn't matter. They were going to avoid it anyway.
I know.
They're gonna if I had won the bet, they would have avoided it. Yeah, they fucking bullshit. They teed up Josh when they're up 11 and changed the whole momentum. So yeah, bullshit ass game.
Yeah, game number 2. Boise State beat George Washington 89-59. The Broncos had 2 points in the first 8 minutes of this game, and they put up 89 points. They were on pace to score 10 total points through the first 8 minutes of this thing. They win it by 30. They cover the 7.5 pretty easy, or the 9.5 pretty easily here. The Broncos, I think Colby was on the Revolutionaries. Mac, were you on Boise?
I was on Boise. Yeah, got voided.
Yep, I'm in the same boat as you. And then the third game.
Good bet. Here's your money back.
And then the third game that I lost was Nebraska, they win this thing by 8. They were laying 5.5, I believe, last night. Lost money here because Arizona State didn't cover. They lose by 8, missed the cover by 2.5 points. It was the Bryce Williams show. He dropped 30, and somehow this bet didn't get voided, Mac. I don't know. I don't understand.
No, you lost.
Yeah.
When you lose, it doesn't get voided.
What was your result, and what happened here in your eyes?
Classic Arizona State, fucking led by double digits in the second half, somehow lose and don't cover. How many times do we see this all year? Glad the season's over.
Jen, I'm afraid to inform you that they haven't voided my futures either. They're just going to wait to see if it loses, and then
if it loses, they'll take your money.
If they win, they'll send you your $20 back and say, "Hey, we voided this. We couldn't find that tournament was fair."
What a fucking joke, man! What a scam!
Total joke.
What a scam and a half.
If you're the Crown, how do you drop the ball this bad on this shit? How many little shit and MTEs get approved for this, and you cannot get your tournament approved?
Who plays in college baseball tomorrow? That's what I'm watching tomorrow. Well, I'll watch the NIT.
Almost everybody plays on Tuesdays in the midweek.
I'll be locked in on college baseball. I'm not fucking. Right. I got a bitter taste in my mouth on this bullshit.
NIT's fun. NIT's got
NIT's great. Yeah, NIT's gonna be fun.
Did you download the slideshow from Colby?
Oh shit! Read an ad and I'll fucking get it down.
I'll get it down, or I'll do the ad in 10 minutes and I'll let you know to download it. What we're going to talk about right now, also in that loaded title of today's show, is we've got a list of coaching names that were announced over the weekend. The big headliner, somebody donated or tipped us $10, or I think it was $20 last night to talk about it. Otherwise, we would have talked about it today's show. But we're going to revisit Kevin Willard. Jumped from Maryland officially to Villanova. This was a news dump at 1:45 Saturday night into Sunday morning, because of course it was. If you had not monitored Willard the entire NCAA tournament, it was pretty obvious that this one was coming, because just, I don't know, scumbag behavior. And I mean, he wanted to go out in his own terms. He wanted to shit on the athletic department and their situations, whether it came to funding for travel, funding for NIL, or the athletic director, and whatever. He is Villanova bound. He is going to get a nice little pay bump. He is going to get a lot more NIL, and he's going to have Jay Wright by his side for a little bit. Hey, I mean, they were both up against each other in the Big East for how many years, and now Jay Wright and company go out and get their guy.
I think actually we're a little too hard on Willard. He's a weird guy. He's an interesting fella. And maybe we just, I don't know, maybe we think we expect more out of him, but when you step back and look at it, he took Maryland to the Sweet 16 for the first time in over a decade. He went in his last 6 years at Seton Hall. He went to the NCAA tournament 5 out of the last 6 years. And we've seen Seton Hall since he left. So he was okay at Iona his last year. I know everybody wins there, so you kind of throw that one out. He's a Bettino guy. I think he's a pretty good coach. He's an interesting guy to my, like I keep saying. He gives me weird vibes, but I think he's a pretty good basketball coach, and I think Jay Wright has a lot of respect for him, because Seton Hall was a pain in Villanova's ass, and they do not have the same resources that a Villanova has. So Willard definitely taking the best job by far that he's had, and we'll see if he can get him back to the dance. History says he will.
Yep. I mean, they were after him for apparently the last month of the year. I mean, from March 12th to where they knew that they weren't going to be in the NCAA tournament, it sounded like Willard was their first option. They had some other backups that there was smoke around, but for the first weekend, it was pretty quiet on Willard. The second weekend, it was obvious that he was their first choice. And he is now in Metro Philly. The other hirings that were under the marquee there of Kevin Willard to Villanova, Ryan Pannone, an Alabama assistant, follows in the footsteps of Brian Hodgson to Arkansas State. The Red Wolves went back to the well with another Crimson Tide staffer, Mac.
Yeah, they're going to try and run it back, but with a different one. Definitely trying to duplicate what they've already had. I think that Hodgson had the better resume between the two because of his junior college days. But he's laid out the blueprint for. How do you pronounce his last name? I never can pronounce his last name. Pannone?
Hodgson or Pannone?
Pannone. No, I know Hodgson. Hodgson's got an easy last name, but Pannone, he's
That's
got a
how
little
I
bit
would
of
pronounce it.
he's got some NBA ties. Being with the Pelicans before that, he played at South Florida, so he's young. And 40 years old, Nate Oates guy, and you would think he's going to do a good job. They have resources at Arkansas State.
Yeah, they do. They grab an Alabama assistant basically right after Bama drops the Elite Eight game to Duke. Also, this weekend we saw that Eric Henderson jumped from South Dakota State to Drake. Mac, this one you were pretty much all over. You were mentioning this on previous coaching changes when we were talking about just rumors of what you were hearing. And I think you drilled the nail on the head here. Henderson to Drake. You think it's a good fit?
Perfect fit. South Dakota State, Drake, somewhat geographically in the same part of the country. And both are basketball programs. And Henderson paid his dues at South Dakota State, went 130-60, won 80% of his games in the Summit League, won 4 regular season titles. He's going to be a home run there. And he'll probably be there, 2-3 years, and then he'll be a Power 5 school somewhere in the Midwest at a Big Ten job. So
you're giving him 2 or 3 years. McCollum was only there one.
I'm splitting the difference between DeVries and McCollum.
Right.
Most people aren't one and dones. I know Calhoun almost did it after Sprinkle did it at Utah State, but most of the time it's 2 to 3 years. So Drake is becoming Utah State. They're the Midwest of Utah State, baby. So I love this hire. It's the same principles and just really a good coach that runs a good program. He'll do a great job. Can't wait to have him on in the summer.
Awesome. Yeah. So he had a really young roster outside of maybe Oscar Clough, who just committed to Purdue today.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to kind of win over that young core? Is it Eric Henderson at Drake, or South Dakota State promotes from within Brian Peterson to the head coaching role? One, they promote from within, probably like the move, right? Yeah. 2, how do you forecast what the rosters are going to look like between the two here?
That's a good question because, and I should note, Henderson got promoted within to replace Otzelberger. So, that worked out pretty well. They went from Otzelberger to Henderson. I forget who was there before Otzelberger, but everybody that's there wins. Nagy at Southern Illinois was there as well. So I would imagine that they do keep a good amount of their core. I would think that Henderson may pluck 1 or 2. Maybe if a couple of the guys are closer to him rather than Peterson. But I think for the most part, I think they're going to keep that core intact. And I think Henderson may think that he can upgrade from an athleticism standpoint in Drake. So I think he may take 1 or 2, but for the most part, I bet you they keep that young core intact. He didn't get Clough at Drake.
No, I had to unmute myself there. Fair. Yeah. Dude, he's collecting gemstones over there. He's got Daniel Jacobson. He's got TKR. Now he's got Oscar Clough. Dude, what is he going to do with all of them?
I love Purdue next year.
Is TKR NBA bound? Why would you go out and get another post guy?
Yeah, he might hit the portal. All these fuckers hit the portal.
Fair.
But I will say programs like Houston, Purdue.
But Clough is a grad. He's a grad senior. He's got 1 year with Purdue.
But for the most part, those guys don't hit the portal. I say that, but Mason Gillis hit the portal as well last year. He's just casually. I always forget he's on Duke's team.
Yeah. Well, he left and said he's going to try and win a national championship. I mean, he's on a Final Four team again this year. So
he's good at just coming up short. He's going to come up short again here on Saturday.
More power to him if he actually does it and called his shot there. We also had in 2-for-1 or trade-off moves. New Mexico goes out and grabs Eric Olin from UC San Diego. I really liked that Triton's team. Now, I mean, that was a team that transitioned from D2 to D1. There were new pieces on this year's roster that had changed from the previous 4 years of that Triton's team. But again, there are some guys with eligibility there. And the question then comes out, is Eric Olin going to be able to get some of those guys to come with him from San Diego down to Albuquerque? I guess that's one part of the question. Second part is, I mean, Eric Olin is a great hire for the Lobos, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, would he win at UC San Diego? 70% of his games, and they transitioned from D2 to D1.
And it's basically impossible to recruit to a team that, we just can't play in the NCAA tournament or our Big West tournament. So our season just kind of ends abruptly, like March 10th, and then we'll see you later after that.
I was saying for weeks, like if Calhoun had left Utah State, that Olin, I was like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Bring him over. Well, I mean, instead Patino's the one that left. Go take the other Mountain West really good job. Hey, that's a perfect fit too, I think. I think he'll do a great job there. Now he'll have more resources at New Mexico. They'll play an entertaining brand of basketball, and I think he'll build on what Patino did. I actually think he's probably a better he's a better coach than Little Patino. Like I know we like Richard Patino because his dad's Rick Pitino, but he's up and down as a head coach. So Olin, I think, is more consistent. I think Lobo fans will love him.
Yeah, Dick started young. I'll say that. I mean,
he's grown a lot, but he's still a little bit up and down.
Yeah, just he's still finding his identity as a coach. He's had a couple of different teams, like different styles. So, Donovan Dent does commit to UCLA. Rumors of that one, like way higher NIL than anything that we had heard last season in the transfer portal and whatnot. And it sounds like that deal might have been done in December after UCLA played New Mexico. Clint Allard gets promoted from within over at UC San Diego. So the second part of that question is, how well will Allard fit in at San Diego, and how many of the guys do you think he'll be able to keep rather than they leave to Albuquerque or hit the transfer portal?
No, I really don't know. I don't have a big sample size of coaches leaving and then promoting within. I like Sargent got promoted at Wright State, and Nagy didn't bring a lot with him. I'm trying to think who else got promoted within last year. There's just not a big sample size, and there's also not a big sample size of really good teams promoting within. Indiana State, but Indiana, like when Shirts left for.
So are you not counting like a coach's pick as a promote from within? Because there's quite a few coaches' picks in the ACC.
Well, I'm talking about at the low major, just because, I mean, nobody stays at the high major anymore. The low major, like Shirts left for St. Louis.
They promoted an assistant.
Yeah, then Graves got bumped up, but there wasn't anybody coming back, and he took Avila with him. So
yeah, that entire team.
Yeah, he didn't leave.
There were two guys at Texas, one at Xavier, two at Indiana State. That was their starting five off the top of my head.
Yeah, you're right. After further review, Allard and Peterson will have nobody. Nobody's loyal to anybody in this fucking fucked up day and age. This whole portal, and
Hey, shout out to Bennett Sturtz, who did go to Iowa with McCollum. So I was kind of hoping that Bennett Sturtz wouldn't go with McCollum, because if you take that stud out of the system that runs at a historically slow pace and you put him in a nationally average tempo offense, what he could do offensively.
To Wisconsin, he would have been fucking awesome for Wisconsin. Yeah, he should not have gone to Iowa. Iowa sucks.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Iowa State.
I commended him for following his coach, but at the same time, I was like, man, that's an opportunity missed for the nation.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him in Altenberger's system. It would have been a bucket.
Yeah. We also had Mike McIntyre, who on the surface, this one to me, I was like, how do the puzzle pieces fit here? He's leaving UC Riverside to go take the Fordham job. To me, at surface level, I don't think either one of these jobs is really desired by a lot of people, just because Fordham's been so bad for years, and UC Riverside, I'm not sure how many or how much resources they have there. But he had good teams at Riverside that overachieved. This is a good hire in my book. I struggled to connect the puzzle pieces. Mac, how did this one come about? What were the connections here?
Have you ever looked back on the Columbia team from 2010 to 2015?
That's not one of the teams or programs that I dig up and want to look at their history.
Dude, you're going to want to look at who was on this staff. Kyle Smith, head coach at Stanford. Now he did a great job at Wazoo and San Fran. Magpio was on that staff with Coach Smith. And you know who else was on that staff?
Todd
the
Golden.
Guy coaching on Saturday. Todd Golden was on that staff. And the guy that just got the Columbia job, Hovde, he was on that staff. And they were like 20-10. Like, that's as good as Columbia will ever be. If you want to know what Columbia's ceiling is, go back to the staff with Smith, Golden, Magpio, and Hovde all on the same staff. So, yeah. I mean, I thought he did a good job at Riverside. I liked watching their team last year. 2 out of the last 3 years winning 20-plus games. So nobody's won at Fordham in a long, long time. It's in the Bronx. It's in New York City. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he's the guy.
Well, I mean, we talked about this pre-show. You know who didn't do a bad job at Fordham?
Kyle Neptune.
I know.
They should have hired him back.
They could have. They should have
brought Neptune back. Neptune was fucking great at Fordham the one year.
He had them competitive. Like, they were good.
I know. And he tricked all of us. I was like, dude, Neptune's a pretty good coach. And he went to Villanova. I was like, not.
No.
Not. I was wrong.
One last name here was Daniel Robinson, the former head coach of Cleveland State. He takes the North Texas job. Heavy rumors. I guess Colby was really bought in and sucked into Ron Hunter taking off to Denton, Texas. But Daniel Robinson from Cleveland State heads down to Denton. Any connections here? Or, I mean, Cleveland State went to the CBI championship tournament, played on Flow Sports, isolated games. Maybe North Texas was doing a little bit of research at the program that usually makes a little run in the CBI or NIT every year. You know, it was that maybe the source of their research and who they were determining to be the head coach.
I would have hired him over Ron Hunter. I don't know how hungry Ron Hunter is right now. I mean, he won his big game at Georgia State, got his big contract at Tulane. I don't know how hungry he is. Robinson won 20-plus games 3 straight years at Cleveland State. I know Dennis Gates had won there, and it was a good situation, but he did a good job for for the most part, maintaining that. I think this is an all right fit. I'm trying to figure out where he connected past. Maybe it's something with the athletic director. I know Ren's not there anymore. He's the AD at West Virginia, but definitely a lot different than McCaslin and Ross Hodge to Daniel Robinson.
Yeah, I'm looking in the chat because I saw the tweet of the guy that they're talking about. Yeah, RJ Lewis, I think he's going to the NBA. I don't think he's portal bound. I saw a burner tweet out that he was going into the portal because he was frustrated with
that he got benched after he went 3 for 1,000 in the Arkansas game.
No, I think he's NBA bound, and if his name actually goes into the portal, I think it's just for security, and it's the same thing that the Coleman Hawkins had last year.
Yeah, I think he is in the portal, but I think his intents are to play in the NBA. But if he does come back, he's gonna come back at the last hour, then demand $3 million.
Yeah, we'll see about the NBA with him because he struggles to shoot.
Dude, he should come back to college. He's crazy if he goes to the NBA. He can come back and make $3 million in the NBA. He wouldn't. I mean, where's he projected on the NBA? Early second round,
probably. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't even follow mock drafts, dude. It's just not interesting to me.
He should tease everybody, get tickled, and then fucking make $3 million. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, put your name in, hear all the good stories that people have to tell you, like tell about you. Big East player of the year.
Yeah, wine and dine on a couple visits. Let them tickle you and tell you how fucking good you are, and then sign for $3 million. Not a bad deal. I need to do that. I need to find a profession where they'll tell me how good I am and they give me $3 million.
Yeah, since organically in the chat brought up the RJ Lewis thing, your thoughts on the Bryce Hopkins commitment today?
I won't go as far as Rothstein, who's like, this is the best 4 and 5 combo in the country. Hey, Rothstein, there's like a zillion people in the portal. There's going to be a zillion more in the portal. Let's pump the brakes on who's the best front court, back court in the country.
Say it now while you can, Mac. Jump in on the game too.
The best front court in the country is the Florida Gators. They're playing on Saturday. That's who I know is there. And the best court
we talked about it. The best front court in America might reside in West Bloomfield not West Bloomfield. God damn it, that's a city near me. West Lafayette. With TKR, they grab Oscar Clough from the portal and Daniel Jacobson. Come on now, guys.
Until Kaufman Wren goes in the portal. He didn't get enough touches down the stretch.
The next burner tweet for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll just start fucking throwing out. So-and-so has entered the portal. So-and-so. Jeff Capel signed a contract extension, 10 years. Start making up wild shit just to see how much traction I can get. People are crazy nowadays, man. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. I mean, I like the fit on paper. I like him and Zuby, but I don't know. Like, who's playing guard for them right now? Is RJ Lewis coming back? Or, I mean, I don't know.
Kadari Richmond, does he have any more eligibility?
I will say about Bryce Hopkins, he's got to come back healthy. I mean, he still needs to prove that he can stay healthy. Now, if he stays healthy, good fit. And you did a good job. I said I was not talking transfer portal until April 1st. Right at midnight, you start hitting me with fucking portal names, you bastard.
Well, the entire chat's going. Like, we knew that we're only picking 6 games tomorrow. So then Cannabis Capper is, did we discuss Elliot Cadeau yet? I don't want to discuss
what a random ass signing today.
Dude, I have tweets about that kid if you want to go look him up. Like, how he was just my least favorite player this year. I hated watching Cadeau. He was even more diva-ish than Vlad Golden was this year. And that's hard to believe. But it is true.
Do you trust Dusty?
I do.
Okay, you'll be all right.
But I'm going to hate watching this kid next year.
I will say, Dusty had some prima donnas his last year at FAU after they got paid and went to the year of expectations. I think he'll be all right handling these. Dusty is just straight to the point, I think. He's very good at just keeping very calm, cool, collected, and this is what we need from you. This is what you're going to do. If you don't do it, well, you just sit your ass on the bench. He don't give a shit, but he doesn't come off as like an asshole. But he's not going to put up with your shit. So if Cano doesn't want to buy in, then he'll sit his fucking ass on the bench.
I mean, it's a weird fit too because you got Trey Donaldson.
Yeah, Trey.
Another small ball handling guard that if he's going to be there, how does that work? David Matola, Arizona fan in the chat going, talking about Visar jumping in the transfer portal. Mac, that was a guy that you fell in love with this year.
I like Visar. Nothing I hate more than when they list who they've heard from. Like the dude from UAB, that's a stud, the big. I can't fucking pronounce it. I'm drawing a blank on his last name. American Player of the Year, 4-5, that just completely put that team on his back at the end of the year. He went in the portal today. They listed off who he had heard from, and I'm like,
wait, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Lendenberg.
Yeah, Lendenborg. Yeah, Axel Lendenborg.
Yeah, he's his list is like a zillion names.
I had myself on mute. I was listening to the background noise. My sister's room is getting redone. So it was distracting me. So yeah, I saw that Lendenborg was, but is he a senior? Like, can he not come back as a graduate? Like, is that a program thing? He could come back.
Yeah, but he's gonna get. He'll be. We know where he'll be. He'll be in the SEC next year somewhere.
Oh yeah,
he'll be
Auburn or Bama.
I was gonna say he looks like a perfect replacement for Johnny Broom. Perfect replacement for Johnny Broom.
No, he's a senior. So like,
yeah, but he came in the COVID year. I think he has another year.
Well, I'm saying is like, yes, you have another year of eligibility, but some schools don't allow you to take the graduate program. So you have to hit the portal if you're looking to play for a fifth year.
Something tells me UAB doesn't have that rule. UAB's not like the strongest academic school.
That's what I'm saying. If you are then you have that ability. Then you have courses for them to take. But if he graduates and there's nothing left for him to do at the school, then I don't know how UAB.
They have grad school at UAB. I'm just saying, like, I get what you're saying. But they have grad school at UAB. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's a senior, so I don't know for sure whether or not he didn't have a choice whether he could play for UAB again. That's something that's still an open book on why that happened. But I mean, he was shooting 36% from three, launched 7 threes as a 6'9" 5-man.
It's freaking sad. Let me ask you this: would you rather go be a late first rounder, or would you rather come back to college and make $3 million?
I mean,
I'd rather come back to college.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys that we see are like college stars that get drafted. They just go straight to the G League and you forget about them. Yeah. You know, so it's like, yeah, well, why don't you just cash one more check, beat Kofi Coburn, and then go play overseas?
Yeah. It's crazy.
How about let's pick some games? But before we get to that, I want to talk to you guys about Underdog Fantasy, because Underdog Pick'em, you could currently play any sport and win up to 100x over on their platform. It's very cool, very fun, and offers multiple different ways and new ways to get down on your favorite team or some of the favorite sports that you like to watch. Go over there and use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick, plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. And the college basketball experience is also brought to you by Rhythm. They are your home for AI picks and props. Rhythm is already off to a great start, helping you dominate March Madness. You can build your own custom model. It's very easy and it's profitable. Plus, they have models for NBA, golf, and MLBs right around the corner with their model, waiting on some data of the opening week games, and it'll be here before you know it. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Mac, let's talk about some games that we have going on for tomorrow, Tuesday, April 1st,
Let's go,
2025. We're going to begin with the NIT games. We have North Texas taking on UC Irvine. Do you have the lines in front of you by chance?
It is the same as it is on Colby's slide.
All right. So we've got a -1.5, total of 128.5. Your thoughts? Who are you picking? This is, of course, happening at Hinkle Fieldhouse, Butler's home arena.
Well, I got to pick Ross Hodge, right? Yeah, I mean, so let's dive into how these two teams got here. North Texas won 2 home games, one at the buzzer, one of them, and then they beat
Irvine won 2 home games too.
Yep. And then North Texas put the icing on the cake here when they went to Oklahoma State for a second time in 3 years. McCaslin's last year, they went there and won there as well. Irvine won 3 at home. They beat UAB. Thought they were fortunate to win that game. That game was out in Irvine. That was a fun game. That was the famous travel on Lindenberg that I joked that they never called. But they called it, of course, in the NIT.
Yeah, you can't call it under 5 minutes or under 5 seconds, under 10 seconds, whatever.
Yeah. Shout out to all the idiots that were sending me ridiculous messages in my DMs. You can call that one, but you can't call that one. It's like, all right, you're just freaking moving the goalpost. So you got North Texas, defensive oriented. You got Irvine, who's also, I mean, this is going to be a rock fight. Both teams are very pride themselves on the defensive end here. I'm going North Texas, man. They've won this tournament before, and I know you could say Hodge taking the West Virginia job could be a distraction, but I think it's just like, hey, this is our last run together. Like we saw with Will Wade and company. I think they're the better team, the more grittier team. I like Irvine, don't get me wrong. And one other thing, let's not act like Turner hasn't been sniffing around trying to get another job too. He's been on the short list for a bunch of these jobs. For whatever reason, he can't get another one. So he's occupied too, thinking about his next gig. I like North Texas to develop a game plan to be able to wear down the big fella there. And I think that they ultimately come out on top. I'm not going to lay the 1.5. I'm just taking the money line though, because this could very well be a 1-point game. North Texas could win this 51-50 for all I know. So give me North Texas on the money line to win. I'm seeing it at -120. Give me -120. Go Mean Green.
I have a ticket on the Eaters to win the NIT. I'm not backing off of that prediction. To your point, Ross Hodge does start 4 seniors, so it's not like a lot of these guys are pissed off that he's not coming back. Like it's their last year too. You know what I mean? Irvine, though, I think is going to win this game. They get to the free throw line early and often. And North Texas is prone to fouling and putting their opponents on the line. If that happens in this game, Irvine's shooting the free throw 80.7%. That's the 4th best mark in the country. I like the Eaters to get this thing done. And I'm looking at Miles Shea, my guy. I mentioned him at the beginning of this tournament. Where's number 77? He's a man after my heart. So
do you like the under?
No, actually, my cocktail napkins got it at 128 on the dot. So
they both play so slow though.
Yeah, they do, and that's why you're seeing this total at 128 instead of 178, like some of the NCAA tournament games.
It's gonna be a fun game. Fun game. Give me the seniors. Go Mean Green.
I think this is going to be one of the best games that we've seen in the month of March.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I struggle to get behind North Texas. They on the road, they haven't hit shots as consistent. They get up for some spots. They knocked off Oklahoma State, like you mentioned, but I do have some questions.
Crowd will be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think the crowd's going to be much of a factor
Yeah,
at all.
I'm trying to think about it. I mean, I would imagine it'll be a big Loyola crowd for both
Yeah.
of the doubleheader.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. I think you are correct. But even in that aspect, Loyola doesn't draw a ton either. So they're a very small private religious school that will maybe have 4,000 in attendance is my prediction there. Before we talk about that game, the TC Trims portion of this episode is brought to you by SeatGeek. Go over there, use the code SGPN10. Colby was able to hook you guys up with a great deal, 10% off any tickets over there on the SeatGeek platform. It's the #1 ticketing app, whether you're looking at Google Play Store or the App Store. 28 million downloads that they've accumulated throughout their app and throughout the years. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. Green dots mean good, red dots mean bad. SGPN 10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code SGPN 10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. Game number 2 of the NIT semifinals, we have the Loyola Chicago Ramblers taking on Chattanooga. And Mac, has this line moved at all? We've got the Ramblers -2.5 and the total at 148.5 on the slide.
It's still 2.5, and the total is still the same.
All right. Well, I think Loyola's been a little bit more offensive this season. My early pick, without a ton of analysis, is that I like Loyola -2.5, and the napkin likes the over slightly. It's got it at 150. Mac, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
So Chattanooga has been the road warriors here, winning in Murfreesboro, winning in Bradley. They've won 3 straight as an underdog here. Loyola, on the other hand, they went to San Fran, knocked them off. They won in San Jose as well before beating Kent State. I went back and forth on this one, man. I think I'm going to side with Chattanooga. I like the Chattanooga guards. I like every time that Bradley made a run last week, they just popped up and made a couple big ones. And they just seem to be playing really hard for Dan Earl. They've won every game since January 25th, except for the overtime loss to Furman. I think this is a really good team out of the SoCon. I just also think that to your point, I think Loyola will have a little bit of the fans, but I don't think it'll be as much as Indiana State did last year. Remember Indiana State, the Sycamores?
Yeah,
but
it was in their backyard.
Yeah. If Colby was on here right now, he would say this is gonna be a home game for Loyola. They should travel a little bit, but they're not as loyal to your point. Give me Chattanooga and those guards, man. I'll take the 2.5. I think this could be a 1 or 2 point game, so definitely gonna take the 2.5 here with my Mocs. Let's go. Mock time, baby.
Yeah, I really like Chattanooga's roster. I've had a crush on them the entire year. They've just struggled to be healthy. They're playing without champion in the NIT, I do believe. But Trey Bonham and Honor Huff, their 2 guards, are healthy, and they have been playing for them, and they've been pretty dang good. Bonham double digits in every game, scoring-wise, and Huff just runs the show so well. That's why I think the over is my play here. I have a harder time picking the game. I just, with Loyola and Drew Valentine, their offense has been better this season than it has been in previous years. To my eyes, at least 44th on KenPom in 2023, 192nd in 24. They're improving with a 149 in year 4 here for Valentine. And I like the defensive foundation that Loyola Chicago's just had as their identity the entire time. Plus rebounding, they've got a pretty good edge here, as Chattanooga's front court has kind of just been in and out with a couple of different players, healthy or not. So I think that's your edge in this one. I'm going to go Ramblers.
All right. So we get 2 head-to-heads here tomorrow now.
Let's do battle. We also do have 4 Crown games. Now, I think the Crown pissed all over themselves and spoiled the excitement out of both myself and Mac. We both went 1-1 on our bets. I don't know if you bet the Arizona State Nebraska game or not.
No, I was waiting for a better number, but then they took it down.
Yeah,
so I was like, fuck this tournament right now.
Yeah, I didn't play the Utah Butler game, so we both went 1-1 and lost. Because we didn't get our money that we won. So
we get scammed.
Yeah, I mean the excitement here has been drained out of me. I didn't have a whole lot of it coming in, but we have promised some people that we will pick these games.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, we did an entire betting preview that might be worthless now. Because if you placed any futures or any of those bets yesterday, they might not cash. They might just void. However,
they better win. At least you'll get your money back.
However, we're going to redo this, and you can place them over at mybookie.ag.
Yeah.
The book that we currently have a promo code for you guys over there. You can go use mybookie.ag promo code TCESGPN, and you will get a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That means if you deposit right now because you can't wait and you're really wanting some action on the Crown, you think you have a great edge that you want to get down on something, you could go over there, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN, put $1,000 in, and then you get a bonus grand. So, great deal if you want to bet this shitty tournament. DePaul, Cincinnati. I don't know if you have lines in front of you or not, but
there is no line.
Does Cincinnati handle the Blue Demons? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Cincinnati. I said Cincinnati wins, DePaul covers. I think it was like 9.5.
I think it was 9.5 yesterday too. I'm doing some scouring of the internet here to see if I can get some odds.
The Action app does have the lines still out.
I'm pulling them up right now.
They do. Even they have pretend lines on there. Yeah, it's 9.5.
Pretend lines.
For fucking pretend lines.
I think DePaul covers this. I said it yesterday on the show. I just think that's a bit much. Plus, my angle against DePaul was that they had players in the portal. We saw players for Utah that were in the portal play today. So who knows who the fuck's playing in these games? It's hard for me to really be excited and try to predict outcomes here, especially when you have to go offshore to play them, or if you play them here in America, they just get avoided if you win and you lose your money if you lose. It's a big scam, but I'll go Blue Demons to cover.
All they had to do was just void them all, and I wouldn't be as negative.
All they had to do was regulate their tournament. All they had to do was sanction it.
Yeah. Hey, Wazoo's winning. I would have had Wazoo, but it would have been voided if I'd won. So I'm glad I didn't bet it, because Georgetown can come back and win this.
Yeah, they're playing. I saw somebody in the chat. It might have been Clark saying they have 8 guys dressed. Georgetown.
They're worried about the portal.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is a matchup between UCF and Oregon State, and who the hell knows who's playing in this one. UCF has 8 players in the portal. Keyshawn Hall, their best player, is one of them.
Man. They're probably playing.
He could be. Jalen Sellers, who's been hurt the entire year, I can tell you he's probably not playing, but he is in the portal. And then Oregon State, their top 3 scorers were in the portal: Michael Ratai, Nate Kings, and Parsifala. But if guys are in the portal playing right now, then Oregon State has their 3 best players. They don't have anybody really in the portal. I liked this Oregon State team the entire year. I think Wayne Tiekle's done a pretty good coaching job this season that nobody was talking about. I'll take the Beavers. I think they're a dog. They were a dog last night.
Yeah, they're 4.5-point dogs. I'll take the Beavs too, man. They've been feisty as a dog all year. I think they'll fight for Big Tank here. So UCF up and down. The line kind of says that they're probably going to have a bunch of their guys that you say are in the portal come back here and play for that $50K slice, I guess. But I don't know. I still think that's a tad too much. So, yeah, give me the Beavs plus 4.5.
Game number 3 over there in Las Vegas is Colorado against Villanova. The names that I know of, actually, both of these programs did pretty well in retaining their players out of the transfer portal. Both of these, Colorado has 3 reserves in the portal. Villanova just 1 reserve. Nova does have a different coach than Kyle Neptune, but Colby and Kramer and Sean all very high on Villanova. Sean and Kramer have Villanova winning this crown tournament. Yeah, your pick for this one, I remember it being like a 3.5-point line or something like that.
Yeah, give me the Buffs. Give me the Buffs. The Buffs finished the season strong, and they were good in the non-con. I know their schedule wasn't particularly hard, but I think they just got worn down in the Big 12. But then they played well down the stretch. I kind of think that they may have more talent or more athletes. I know Eric Dixon's still on the team, but I don't know. I never was really that high on that Villanova team outside of Dixon. So, yeah, new coach. I'll take the continuity. This is a Tab Boyle spot. Tab Boyle, this is kind of tournament he would win.
Yeah. I give me the one game for Eric Dixon going for the Villanova scoring record. So I'll take them minus 3.5 or whatever the number will be in this one. And the final game is Tulane USC. Tulane without 2 starters, Cam Williams and Caleb Banks, a rotation player in Mari Jordan, and then 1 reserve. And USC is pretty much intact, just 2 reserves in the transfer portal. But again, who the hell knows are playing in these games. I don't remember the spread on this one last night.
6.5, I want to say.
I think I was on USC.
8.5. I love how it's still on VSiN's website.
I'm still on USC in this spot, I think.
I took Tulane in the points. I think it's too much. I think USC wins by like 4 or 5.
Actually, I might have went with you guys because I think Colby talked about some shit about Tulane beating USC in the Rose Bowl 2 years ago. Yeah. And the napkin has Tulane just as a 5.5-point dog. So whatever. I'll be on the green wave.
The napkin doesn't know who's playing.
No, I know that, but I don't know who's playing either, so I'll go with the napkin.
Don't even bother it, because if you win, you just not get your money.
Yeah, and that's going to wrap up our show, dude.
It's the most deflating episode we've ever had, I think.
It's crazy. Shout out to everybody that listened to all 1 hour and 4 minutes of this shit.
All you can do is laugh. It's like, what?
Idiots. I mean, how inexperienced do you have to be to not get this thing regulated?
I want to know who dropped the ball.
How do you not go out and like hire an executive that runs the Maui Invitational or some shit?
Yeah, I don't
know. This goes to show too. We're gonna get out of here in a second. How stupid TV execs really are. They just don't get it at all.
Yeah, and shout out to all the agree. You know, the sportsbooks got their ass kicked by all this chalk in the tournament.
Yeah, they did.
So you know what they fucking did?
Yeah.
They fucking rigged a couple games in this crown tournament. What a bunch of sore losers, man. Such a joke.
Yeah, they go, you guys raked us over coals during the March Madness tournament. This tournament, this crown you guys are excited about, It's not regulated. We can't trust it as a product. Although it is on national television, you guys can all watch the games and see what's going on, and that it's clearly not rigged, and that the gameplay is fair. We're going to mark it as void if you win your bet, and we're going to take your money if you lose. That's how we're going to do it around here for this new tournament for you guys. It's a small fundraiser for us to make our money back after what we lost during the month of March.
I think it's hilarious that we were on we were on opposite sides.
Well, we both won Boise. I lost Arizona State, and you lost
Arizona
Utah.
State. I lost Utah. Yeah. I'll give DraftKings credit. At least they kept it consistent. Hey, if you won the bet, you ain't getting the money. But if you lost, thank you.
At least the odds are pulled now. Like nobody can bet.
Yeah. I thank God I didn't fire away on a bunch more. I just like those two to start the day. And I was like, let me see if I can get a better number on Arizona State. But by the time I wanted it, it was gone. And then what was the other game? Oh, this game, Wazoo. I was going to bet Wazoo because I think after the show went down from 3.5 to 2.5, I was like, let's see if it gets back to 3.5. And no, it didn't. And then they just took the game down. So hilarious. Fucking hilarious. What a day.
I just think it's so funny. They dropped the ball so bad with this thing.
Yeah. Well, be back tomorrow to talk Portal.
Yeah, you can follow him at moneyline_Mac. That's Ryan McIntyre over there, and you can follow myself, Noah Bieniek, at NoahB77 on social media, and you can follow the show at TCE on SGPN. We posted 2 great clips today. One just about everybody complaining about chalk, and then I do remember a 2023 Final Four that didn't have a single 1 seed, and everybody was complaining that we didn't have the best teams.
That's just
then
how everybody just keeps complaining about the chalk. Like, dude, I hate chalk as much as anybody, but like, just relax. It's going to be a good Final Four.
Yeah.
Next year there'll be a 4 or 5 seed in there. It's not going to be like this every year. No, NIL and the portal aren't ruining it. You're following ESPN's narrative and FS1's narrative.
ESPN's narrative, they were actually the smart ones today. They didn't even show the crown scores. I don't know if you saw that, but I use ESPN's platform for whatever reason for scores. Couldn't even find the crown because it's on Fox. It's the exact same thing that they've done with the UFL and the XFL for all that shit. So I just thought it was so funny.
If ESPN's track record of their narratives, honestly, if you want to be a good gambler, watch ESPN and whatever they fucking tell you, go the fucking opposite. I guarantee you'll have a fucking hell. I do that. I always got them on in the background. They are horrible. So something tells me this narrative that they got this year, it'll flip just like it always does. It depends, man. It evens out. So,
which you would think, like, why aren't they happy? They have 2 SEC teams in the Final Four. They have Duke in the Final Four, who represents the ACC.
Who's the other team?
Houston.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna get fucked because they're the ESPN Plus.
Yeah. Houston out of the Big 12, the ESPN Plus league.
Yeah.
TNT next year, baby. TNT. We're on TNT next year.
Yeah, you guys said fuck this.
True TV all year long, baby.
The other clip that we posted today was of Colby, just all-time quote. Holy shit, it was so funny. Saying that, I forget what kid it was, but he's like, he's got a better chance of getting drafted to go to war than he does in the NBA draft. Yeah. Oh, that was so good. I was sitting on that clip for a week. All right, that's going to wrap up today's show. An hour and 9 minutes of madness. That was the college basketball crown opening day, and there were some solid NIT picks that were given out on this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you here again tomorrow, every day throughout the week, on the College Basketball Experience YouTube channel and podcast platforms. This has been the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.